Okay, I'm going to see. Yay. Okay, so we're going to be able to do this. All right. So I'm going to flip the screen over so that you can see me and we can work on that. We did number 1, number 2, and number 3 together, all except for Mrs. Jackson's class. So what we are doing is you can still use the area model if you choose to find what is the common denominator is what we're looking for. Remember that I said that let's go ahead and work on number 4, and then with the other class, I'll come back to it. I want to go ahead and hide that part. And I have the 2/3 and then 1/2. Some of you can now already figure out what the common denominator is, and that's great. Those of you that cannot yet, we were saying that we were going to draw like a multiplication chart. It's kind of a little small, but that's okay. It'll work right now. I need it to number my boxes 1, 2, 3, 4. So as far as I'm going to go, unless I need any more. And it said it's going to be like a multiplication chart. I'm looking at my denominators, which is 3 and 2. So the first one is 3. The second one is 2, because I'm going to put my denominators there first. So I have 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, stop right there. Go to the 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. And 4 times 2 equals 8. This is where I need to ask, do I already have a number that is the same as that's in the first one that's also in the second row? And the answer is yes. I can find that I have 6 and 6 that are together. So now I'm coming back over here, and I know that 2/3 is going to be equal to, and my denominator is 6. What did I do to get from 3 to 6? Yep, I multiplied it by 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. I also know that whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So 2/3 is the same as 4/6. And then my 1/2, I'm going to kind of move my picture out of the way. So now I have 1/2 is the same as, and I said that the same denominator was 6. What did I do to get from 2 to 6? I multiplied that by 4. Whatever I do to the top, I'm at the bottom, I must do to the top, or would do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. So 1 times 4 equals 4. So is that right? No, I'm so glad you caught my mistake. This is at 3. I kind of got thrown off when I moved my picture over. So good work. 2 times 3 equals 6. And whatever I do to one, I do to the other. Good catch on that one. So it's 1 times 3, drawing my dividing bar, equals 3. So I have 4, 6, and 3, 6. And now I found my common denominator is 6. All right, so let's go to number 5. I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. Let's see, what am I going to do here? Oops, I do not need pink. Erase this part. I do want to just tap here. Well, let me tap in. Delete and delete there. All right, we're going over to number 5. My fractions are 3/4 and 3/8. Again, if you're wanting to draw the area model on that one, you're going to draw, I'm going to draw it where I have 1, Why is it stretching it out? 2. That is not what I want. Oh, there we go. 2. So I want it 4. So now I'm going to be shading 1. Well, that's so odd. Why is it doing that? I needed to shade this in, so I'll just draw lines. But I can't do that because that's really messing that part up there too. It was nice what the machine thought I was going to be doing. 1, 2. Why is it doing that? So if I had it this way, 3/4, I'm shading in. Oh, what could we do just to try to do it where it just has a line? Is that possible? It's not going to let me shade that part, is it? There we go. We'll just do it a little messier. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and highlight over here. That's 1, 2, 3. So now this represents 3/4. Now I need to have 8. I'm going in the opposite direction. And so if I go ahead and draw out 8 columns, I sure hope it doesn't do this to me. 1, it did. So I'm going to tell it, command, I want the sloppy stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I now have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. And out of the 8, I need to shade in. I'm going to go ahead and shave in 3 of those. So it's 1, 2, 3. So that represents 3/8. And I'm going to move this over. So what I need to do is to go ahead and draw down 8 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now, how many squares do I now have? I drew an array. So it's 8 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 across and 4 down. What is 8 times 4? 32 is going to be my divisor. Very good. And how many of the 32 do I have shaded in? Not shaved, but shaded. And so I have 32 minus the 8. It gives me what? Very good. It's 24. So this is going to be valued at 24 over 32. Now I'm going to take this denominator here, and on this one right here, where did that go? I'm going to draw my 4 rows. And I have 4 rows. How many do I have here? Yep, absolutely right. I have 32. I still have 32 over, but how many are actually colored in? This goes 3, 6, 9. I have 12 of the 32 colored in. So now my common denominator that I've figured out is 32. And so for number 5, my common denominator, let me go to a thinner pen. first one is 24 over 32. And I got to 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And the other one is also 32. 8 times 3. And it was 8 times 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. So you can do it. Again, we've been working on the area model. You will see the pictures on a benchmark. You'll see it on a star. But it's just to understand, do you know if you saw a picture, what it would look like? And how would you identify it? Okay, and so that was adding. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this part. Make sure that you have that written down. And we're just finding the common denominators. Come over here to my lasso. Delete. Delete. Erase these little fellers out. Okay, and now let's go to number 6. 11/12. Now, do you see what we can be doing here? Do you see what's happening with our denominators? Right? And if you haven't seen a pattern, hang tight. Let's keep going. I'm going to go ahead and draw my multiplication chart, my mini multiplication chart. Didn't want that to happen. Give me Sloppy Joe. I just want sloppiness. Thank you very much. I'm going to draw my lines down, and I'm going to label it 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm circling my 12, and I'm circling my 6, and those are going to come right here. 12, and I'm going to actually put the 6 in a different color so that you can see that. I'll put that in green, and then I'm going to put my 6 in green there. All right, multiplying it. So 1 times 12 equals 12, and 2 times 12 equals 24. And that's as far as I'm going to get, is to that 24. Okay. Because I don't think I need to go any further. I have my 6. 1 times 6 equals 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. Do I have something in common right now? Absolutely. I have my 12 and my 12 right here. Those are in common. So this is going to stay the same, the 11th, 12th, but my 1, 6. I'm going to go ahead and bring my 1, 6 down. Erase that part. And we said that that denominator is going to change to a 12. So how did I get from 6 to 12? I multiplied it by 2. Very good. And when you're drawing your little multiplication chart, you can also see that right here, that when you number your little boxes, that's where it's at as well. So I have 1 times 2 equals 2. So 1, 6 is equal to 2 12s. All right, let's look at number 7. Now tomorrow we're going to move forward with something else, because I'm still doing the adding, and then we'll be bringing in some subtracting, because on Wednesday we're moving into multiplying decimals. All right, so now I have 1/2 and 2/5. I'm going to go ahead and do it in this color pen. I'm going to go ahead and draw out my mini multiplication chart. I did not want it to be perfect. I have to undo perfection. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and number it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to circle my denominators. And my denominators are going to go here. So it's in the first box, that's 2. And the next one is 5. But my multiplication, and I'm going to take care of my 2. So 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. And 4 times 2 equals 8. I'm going to stop there for just a moment. I'm going to start on my 5s. 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. Now I notice that I don't have anything larger than a 10 on the top. So I can actually keep going on my 2's. 5 times 2 equals 10. All right, well now look at what I've discovered. I have 2 10s. All right, so now I have my 1/2. Let me change the color ink. I have 1/2 is equal to, and I'm going to put a 10 above. So I'm moving to my 2 right here. How did I get from 2 to 10? That's right, I had to multiply it by, see there, 5. So it's times 5, and 1 times 5 equals 5. So 1/2 is equivalent to 5/10. And 2/5, I have it here, my 5, and I said that that was going to be 10. How did I get from 5 to 10? I multiplied it by 2. So 2 times 2 equals, where did it go? It's out of there. 2 times 2 equals 4. So now this would be 4/10. All right, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And again, this evening, we're just finding common denominators based on area models that we created, or multiplication charts that we can make that are also considered like an area, or more like a multiplication chart rather than an area model. An area model is multiplying columns and rows. All right, let's look at number 8. I don't want to make this larger. Number 8 is 5 sevenths and 3/5. I am going to circle the denominators, and I'm going to create a very sloppy box with 2 rows, and I'm going to number these rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And can you already guess what that denominator will be? The common denominator would be. Okay, I hear some guessing out there. All right, so now I'm going to put my 7. And the next one, I'm going to put my 5. Oops, those are so light. Okay, so now I have my 5 and I have my 7. These are my denominators. Multiply it out. 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 7 equals 14. 3 times 7 equals 21. 4 times 7 equals 28. 5 times 7 equals 35. All right, I'm done with my 7s. That's done. Now I go to my 5s. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 equals 20. 5 times 5 equals 25. 6 times 5 equals 30. 7 times 5 equals 35. Do I find a number that's in the same in each row, the top and the bottom? Yes, I do, and that number is 35. Very good. So now, oops, that is not what I wanted. going to go ahead. That's not what I wanted either. So now I have 5/7. And I said that that was equal to 35 right here. Draw my dividing bar, 35. How did I get from 7 to 5? You got it. I multiplied that by 5. Whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. So 5 times 5 equals 25. So that'd be 25 35ths. Let's look at the 3/15 or the 3/5. And I don't have, I forgot my my pen at school, my stylist. So I'm using my finger, so I apologize for the lack of cleanliness on this video. Okay, so we said that 5, we get to 35. How did I get to 35? And right above, I multiplied it by 7. So 5 times 7 equals 35. 3 times 7 equals 21. And so the common denominators is 35. So the first one is 25 over 35, and the next one is 21 over 35. You can write a lot better than myself. My little fingers are... Okay, I need the eraser. Thank you very much. So this again is 25 over 35, and then 21 over 35. All right, let's look at number 9. I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this here. Go ahead and lasso this. Delete, lasso, delete, lasso, delete. 8 and one more lasso, delete. All right, let's look at number 9. Here I have 1/4 and 3. My glasses are kind of messing up right now. Was that 3/16? 3/16. So it's 1/4 and 3/16. I'm going to go ahead and draw out my rectangle with 2 rows, and I'm going to number my boxes. Okay, so here I have 4 and then 16. How far do you think I should number? Yeah, I don't need a number far. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll stop there. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Do I have a number in common? Yes, I do. That's 16. So do I need to do anything to this fraction here? Nope, it's just going to stay the same. So I'm going to look at the 1/4. And I know that's equal to a 16. What did I do to get from 4 to 16? I multiplied it by 4. Whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. So 1 times 4 equals 4. So 1/4 is equal to 4/16. Okay, excellent. Oh, wow, made a pentagon. That is pretty cool. That's rad. All right, let's go to the next one. Circle, 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 erase, erase, erase. And if you just put this in your math journal on the answers, that's fine. And you're working in your math book, that's fine too. Just be prepared to show me tomorrow in class if you are one of our online kiddos. Number 10, I have 2/5 and 3/4. How did that switch? Oh, I think my bracelet hit that. That's what it was. So I have 2/5 and 3/4. I'm going back over to make my 2-row column or 2-row rectangle. And now I'm going to draw my lines down. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm circling my denominators. I'm going to put 5 and 4 in the other. And my multiplication. So I have 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. Well, how did that happen? I don't want you. I just want this one. Now you're skip counting, so you can just go 5, 10, 15. Next would be 20, and then 25. Now I'm going to skip count by 4s or multiply, just like your multiplication table. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's 8. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Have we found anything yet? 5 times 4 is 20. There you go. Bingo. Ding, ding, ding. So 20 is going to be my common denominator. And do you see something up here that also is equal to 20, what we can do? Yeah, if you multiply your denominators together, absolutely. So 5 times 4 equals 20. If you multiply them together all the time, sometimes your answers are going to be your denominators are going to be so big. It won't be the least common denominator, but it will be one that you can continue to simplify on down. So now I have 2/5 is going to equal 20. So 5 went into 20, or how many times? 4 times. And whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. So 2/5 is also the same as 8/20. I'm going to do the same with my 3/4. What did I do to get from 4 to 20? I multiplied that by 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. And so 3/4 is equivalent to 15/20. And you'll just write that into question number 10. All right, now let's look at the next one. I'm on number 11. I'm going to go ahead and erase my board here. Lasso this, delete that, lasso that, to delete that. All right, and the next one is going to be 2/15 and 5/6. This is going to be interesting. Which common denominator do you think this will be? Hey, really interesting. Huh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make my rectangle. Draw my 2 rows, number them. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm already thinking in my head, 3 times 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, what I will do is go ahead and split this one in half. Make that 9 and 10. I'm circling my denominators. First one is 15. Second one is 6. 1 times 15 is 15. 2 times 15 equals 30. Can I get a 30 out of the 6? Yes, I can. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. See how I'm starting to think ahead and like, what are my combinations? 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. So 30 is what they have in common. So you may not see it right away. You might not. So when you're working at this, your brain is still thinking forward. So 2/5 or 2/15, my common denominator is 30. I got from 15 to 30 by multiplying that by 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing to my numerators. 2 times 2 equals 4. So 2/15 is equal to 4/30. Let's do the 5/6. I'm sorry, my finger doesn't work as well as the stylus pen. I already found out that it's by 30, so my common denominator, lowest one, is 30. I got there by multiplying it by 5. Got to do that to my numerator. So it's 25/30. So I have 4/30 and 25/30. All right. That was a doozy. Wasn't so bad. How many of you thought it was going to be really terrible? And then it ended up being as terrible as you thought it would be? Nope. Sometimes just working it out and putting it on paper really makes sure that you're understanding what it's really about. And how many of you that your brain is now thinking ahead, working out these problems? If it's not, that's where you should be right now. And the last one for number 12, it's 7/8 and 1/2. What's going to be the common denominator? Oh, very good. I already heard some people, I already know it. And let's confirm that you are right. I won't have to go very far up, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have 8 and 2. And you said that it's going to be 8. That's my common denominator. Well, let's check. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. And you're absolutely right. The common denominator is 8. So I don't need to do anything to the 7/8. My 1/2, on the other hand, I multiplied that by 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. So 1 times 4 equals 4. Trying to get that. I don't know why it's not doing it. So 4/8 is equal to 1/2. I don't know why it's not doing that. So sorry for the sloppiness. I will remember my stylus. I had to get out to go to a meeting. So my meeting ended up being a little bit later. Okay, so that was 4/8. All right, so that is practicing on finding that common denominator so that you can get, so that we can tomorrow work on some problems in small groups. You guys have a great evening. It was a pleasure seeing y'all this evening and working with you today. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out and go into my recording, and I will see y'all on Tuesday. Bye.